Never felt more like singing the blues. City win, United lose, oh City. You got me singing the blues. Come on, City. I didn't think I was going to be able to sing that two games into the season, and I'm already singing that City have won and they've lost. Can you absolutely... It's unbelievable. Let me just fix something quickly for you here, because I have included a new... little way to interact with you guys, and I need to make sure it works first of all. But as Muddy Duck says, there you go. Never felt more like singing the blues. City win, United lose, oh City. You got me singing the blues. Come on, City. Absolutely sensational from Manchester City. From Erling Haaland in particular, who's gone and bagged himself a hat-trick of the highest variety. One that was a penalty, but the other two goals were so good. Kevin De Bruyne's assist, they've come on my screen, perfect timing. I didn't orchestrate this, it's just very, very lucky that they happened to be on the screen as I'm talking about them as they went in. But that third goal, the finish, what's he, about 20 yards out, 25 yards out? Fantastic finish from Erling Haaland, and we don't see them that often outside the box because he doesn't really tend to play his football outside the box, but he scored one against Wolves in the treble-winning season outside the box. I think last season against Brighton, I think he scored outside the box, a really good finish from him as well. It's something in his locker that I would like to see more of, because, I mean, we've seen him in training in particular, on international duty, some of the training drills that he goes through where those rockets fly into the back of the net. I have no objection with Haaland having a shot from outside the box, because he knows where the goal is. And I mean, we know he's used to being inside the box, but he's obviously got an absolute wand of a left foot that can do damage outside the box, which is great news for City. Gundogan's back as well. It's been just it's almost we're spoiled as City fans, aren't we? We are absolutely spoiled, and I love it. There you go. Just looking at the Brighton calamitous situation of United, as well as Harry Maguire with some defending that, I mean, I feel like I could have done a better job in that situation there. But yeah, United just falling apart already. Give Erik ten Hag a new contract. Give that man a new contract. They beat City. They beat Manchester City. Give him a new contract. 2 games into the season, 3 points dropped, and City are already 3 points ahead of Manchester United. And that gap, I can promise you, is only going to grow. That's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I will be surprised if Erik ten Hag is still the Manchester United manager come the end of the season. But fuck them. Let's stop talking about them. I mean, it's funny. Let's all have a good laugh. Yeah, I get it. But they are beneath us now. You know what I mean? They are like the beneath us, and we're lowering ourselves a little bit to even be talking about them. You know? In reality, it's like... We've just gone and wiped the floor with a newly promoted side, which I expected City to win, but we certainly didn't expect to be going 1-0 down. So let's get that negative out of the way first of all. I felt like Rico coming back into a position that was a little bit inexperienced. I felt like he made his decision to catch Smodniks offline. It's not offline. No, offside. He's not a fucking robot. But offside, catch him offside on the line too early. He made that decision too early, and he should have kept going with the run. But other than that, I felt like Rico Lewis came back into the game and showed what he's all about, showed his mental strength. He should have scored. I mean, that was a horrible, horrible miss where he smashed it onto the crossbar. But he played okay, Rico Lewis, outside of that. I don't think he hit the heights that he did at Stamford Bridge. I felt like he played better. It's a difficult role for Rico Lewis. He showed very intelligent runs into the box. That was good. Could Ederson have saved it? That's the debate there. I'm not convinced he did that well with it, Ederson. You immediately... I know what most fans will do is they'll go back to the Ortega save at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Son, and you'll think about how big and commanding he is. One-on-ones are not Ederson's strong point. Ortega seems to be his strong point. But you know what you get with Ederson distribution. This is certainly not a hate... Let's not get on Ederson's back, because I felt like the situation was the outfield player's fault for Ederson even being asked to defend that, to try and stave that one-on-one situation. He shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. But we came back, we responded brilliantly. Savinho, mate, he looks sensational. He's getting better and better every time I see him play. Again, didn't complete the 90 minutes being protected a little bit. The only little detail that I want to be a little bit critical of Savinho is his temperament. his inability to control himself when he gets back. I love the fact that he gets back, does the hard yards, tries to defend, but he nearly gave away a penalty against Chelsea with Enzo Fernandez going into the back of him. He went into the side of Leif Davis in the first half, and I'm surprised Ipswich didn't make more of that, to be honest. It was like a hip-to-hip. Just needs to be careful is all I'm saying. Just when you come back, just take it easy. We don't need to be overly zealous and giving away penalties. But going forward, Savinho is just silky smooth, like butter being spread on a delightful piece of sourdough bread. He looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't he? He is. I'm hungry now. But he's brilliant. He looks brilliant, Savinho. Like silky smooth. I love the skills. Very different style of approach to Doku, who's very rock and roll in his dribbling. Savinho's a little bit more like jazz, isn't he? Like one. That's Savinho, isn't it? Doku's like he's like absolutely goes for it, Doku, doesn't he? And he just smashes his way through. Both can be very, very effective, but I think Savinho's a little bit more pleasing on the eye. But I thought Doku was good. I thought he played reasonably well. End product was okay at times. There was a couple of crosses into the box into the first half that found Haaland, but they were a little bit behind him. I felt like there was one where Haaland could have stopped and held his run a little bit with his left foot and cut it back. You know, I felt like there was a little moments, but I thought Doku was decent. I thought Savinho was decent, but I mean, it's all about Haaland, isn't it? Haaland was just fantastic, getting himself another hat-trick. I don't think he was quiet in the game either. A typical Haaland performance is normally a goal, maybe two, and doesn't really do anything other than score. Do you know? But Haaland, I felt like he contributed quite a bit today. He held up the ball reasonably well. He was physical. He was all right in his distribution. But you come away with a hat trick, you have to give him the credit. You know, you have to talk about the man. You have to talk about how brilliant he is, because he's already got 4 goals to his name. We're 2 games into the season, and he's already got 2 goals per game. You know what I mean? Like, ridiculous. The guy's an absolute phenom, which is what I put in the title, actually. Funnily enough, that, isn't it? Funny how that worked out. But yeah, fantastic. Good to see you guys in the chat. Douglas as well. Good to see you. Love to all Blues for their love. 100%, mate. Good to see you. Clara as well. So I haven't seen you for a while, but good to see you back in this stream. We need to remember Rico is only 19, but nice to hear it was an all-round decent performance. Yeah, 100%. He is still a baby, effectively, isn't he, in footballing years? Still so much of learning to do. But there is an intelligent player there. The runs he made, if you go back and watch the game, remove your emotion from the game, watch the game back again, which I'll be doing in the morning, player ratings in the morning, so come and join me for that. But his intelligent runs is what really impressed me, because he's ghosting into these channels between fullback and centre-back that's well-timed as well. It's not just about, oh, I see the space, run into it. It's timing the run that's really good. And there were so many moments where he found himself in the penalty area, and his technical ability or a little bit of decision-making just let himself down a little bit occasionally. He tried a little Cruyff pass at one point. That was a nice effort. No one was there, but like, it was quite intelligent. Spatial awareness is quite good. He's good in the pockets as well, Rico. So Kyle Walker's going to struggle to get back into the side. I can't see Kyle getting... This system doesn't suit Kyle. There is no... The only way Kyle gets back in the side if Akanji is being rested or injured, because Akanji right centre-back is like kind of his perfect position, because Akanji's already dabbled with right-back a little bit, so he's good on that side of defence. Ruben Diaz is the rock, 100%, and Gvardiol, the perfect left-sided centre-back. Ake and Gvardiol, for me, I feel like we could bring in Ake at any moment and have no change or anything to worry about. Nathan Ake, I think he's an absolutely sensational player. I love Nathan Ake, and I hope he doesn't get worn out from, like, no, or frustrated is the word I was looking for. Frustrated from lack of minutes. Do you know what I mean? I don't want him to feel frustrated at any point this season, because we can't lose Nathan Ake. We have to have him. Whether he's on the bench as a squad player, he's such an important player, and he'll be used this season, 100%. Walker is going to struggle to get back in the side ahead of Akanji, only when it's rested or rotated, I think. And he can't play the right back and do what Rico's doing. He can't do that. Kyle Walker cannot tuck inside and play alongside Kovacic. Speak on Kovacic as well, now I've said his name, and go forward into those pockets. It's just not his game, can't do it. Kovacic, I thought he was brilliant again. I thought he was fantastic in that first half in particular. He's got this way of, like, his tackling is so good. Like, he reads the game and he gets a little toe in, really important little toe, and takes the ball off the opposition when there's, like, he picks pockets really well, and he steals balls really well. No, I love Kovacic, and I think he's growing into a very, very important cog in this Manchester City midfield. The concern now is you hope that injury isn't bad, because it looked like he was grabbing the top of his hamstring a little bit. But then, you know, we've got Gundogan on the bench, and he didn't even come on, Gundogan, at that point. I thought it was going to be a straight swap, but on comes John Stones. Nothing really to speak about for John Stones, really. Didn't do anything wrong, didn't do anything bad. He just quietly got about his business. Did all right, John Stones, when he came on. Nothing to speak of, really, there. Grealish, I thought it was harsh to book him. I don't think it was a dive, because the guy's boot came off, so there was clearly a connection there. But we saw that difference of Doku and Savinho, and it's going to be a hard act to follow Jack Grealish coming on for Doku. The other way round always made Doku look scintillating, didn't it? Like, wow, Doku coming on for Jack Grealish, because of the different ways those two players approach the game. You put Jack Grealish on for Doku, and you could immediately see the electricness of Doku was gone. Same on the other side for Bernardo Silva, by the way. The same can be said. Those two as wide players, they take their time. They cut it back a lot. They don't always... What happened to my voice then? My voice broke then. Did you hear that? My balls just dropped. Like, Jesus Christ. But they cut it back. And... just going on about that. But Bernardo Silva cutting it back. Jack Grealish cutting it back. The two together, they're very different to Savinho and Doku. And I feel like Jack Grealish is going to struggle for minutes this season. I think he'll have cameos like this. I think he'll also play in cup games, maybe the odd Premier League games if there's been a Champions League game been crammed in. Because we can trust Jack Grealish. He's not a bad player. He's very good. He just offers something very different. And that system that we played, where De Bruyne is pushing out left, which is where the assist for Haaland's goal came from, by the way, for the second goal. What a goal that was, by the way. So good, so good. But that was the position that was promised to us a little bit with these tactics. With De Bruyne was almost bang on the halfway line, on the wing on the halfway line, left wing, and he just whips that ball into the path of Erling Haaland, dangles the carrot for Muric, enough for Muric to think, I can get this. Not with Erling Haaland, you can't, mate, because he's as quick as a cheetah. And he comes out and nods it past Muric. And then Haaland has the awareness to know that there's going to be a sliding defender coming in. And he just cushions it with that little side foot over the sliding defender and into the empty net. And I loved that goal. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really good. And Haaland gets himself a hat-trick. But Gundogan came on. He just... quiet and effective. There wasn't the headline goal that we were hoping for. I think we were all hoping for Gundogan gets himself on the score sheet. And it would have been a bit harsh on Haaland, to be honest, because the guy with the headlines probably would have been a bit more about Gundogan, considering he's the player who's come back. But a Haaland hat-trick can never be ignored. A player getting a hat-trick should never be ignored. And that is Haaland almost becoming a victim of his own success, that we're like, ugh, Haaland's got another hat-trick, has he? All right. Ugh, yeah. It's a hat-trick, mate. A Premier League hat-trick again. And he's closing in on the record, isn't he? Get in the chat and let me know, what is the number one hat-trick? Isn't it Alan Shearer with the most hat-tricks, I think? The most hat-tricks to his name, Premier League hat-tricks at least, I'm pretty sure. Haaland isn't far behind, because how many did he get last season? He got like 4 or 5 last season. So, I mean, the guy's on record here for coming for... He's just ripping up record after record, isn't he, Erling Haaland? Unbelievable. Yeah, frustrating to go 1-0 down, though, I must admit. That clean sheet would have been nice today. Completely agree. Isa, mate. Haaland is going to have a fantastic season. I think Grealish will get more minutes than we're all expecting. I hope you're right, mate. And hopefully he makes use of them. That's the key point, though, isn't it? That's the key point. He'll only get less if he doesn't make use of them. It will get harder and harder for Pep to justify giving him minutes if he doesn't come onto the pitch and make an impact, or start the game and make an impact. And Jack Grealish, his way of playing, his tendency as a footballer, certainly as a Manchester City footballer, has been quite a subtle. He's quite nuanced. Do you know what I mean? It's not obvious what Jack Grealish brings to the team. You have to look for it, and that's not being an insult to Jack Grealish. It's just a very specific style of play. It's quite clever. What, in particular, in this season, in the treble-winning season, when he wore this shirt, Jack Grealish was on fire, mate, in what he was doing, and he was putting up reasonable numbers as well. Scored a lovely goal at the Emirates as well. We can't forget that. Deflected, but still quality performance. So I agree, mate. I hope he makes use of them, because there aren't going to be too many of them. Was it 12? Oops, sorry, mate. Yeah, hopefully also Zachary, I agree, Bob and Rodri coming back. This is all without Bob and Rodri, good point as well. Mostly Rodri is the key player that we can talk about there, that he is missing from Manchester City's starting 11 for the last two games, and I haven't missed him in the slightest, which is a terrifying prospect for opposition fans to picture the scenario where Rodri comes back to a side that has just scored 6 goals in 2 games and not looked anything different from the last season. Not a single ounce of evidence is there to suggest that the belief is not there for City. The tempo's not quite there. The intensity's not quite there. It's all there. It's all there, and we very much look like we are on course for 5 in a row. You've got to respect Arsenal. You've got to respect Liverpool. God knows what they're going to bring this season. They're going to take us to the wire. I would expect to see Arsenal taking us to the last game of the season. But the way we've started this season doesn't suggest that there's going to be a slip from City. We look like the same old City that just mean business. And it reminds me, after this video, go and watch the reaction to the celebrations to Erling Haaland's first goal against Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. Watch the City players and watch De Bruyne and watch Haaland. When they all go to Haaland, high fives, big smiles, all that. But Bernardo Silva's like pointing and gesturing and like doing that. They're not that bothered that they've scored. They've just seen an aspect on the pitch that they're like, no, let's rectify this situation. We need to do better here. De Bruyne is saying, pointing and gesturing. It's like how to score again, how to go again. It's not like, yeah, high fives and like fancy celebrations. Like United players, you know what I mean, doing a stupid fucking dance. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. It's like business as usual, 1-0 up. High five, yep, celebrate. Let's not make football boring. There is obviously the emotional side of it. Smiles and high fives, no problem. But it's like talking, right? How do we get this second goal? Someone's seen a problem somewhere and they're identifying it. They're talking about it. And that's this. It's the brain power of these Manchester City players, and that's installed into them from the main man, Pep Guardiola. No two ways about it. That the mentality is insane. It's insane. I don't know how we do it. I couldn't believe we won 4 in a row, looking back, and I'll be shocked if we win 5 in a row. That's not because I doubt us. It's just the mentality. How do you do it? How do you keep going again? 5 in a row. I'll be gobsmacked if we do it, to be honest, because it's just such a difficult thing to do, to dominate this league. And I mean, it would be a farmers' league, wouldn't it? If we've won it 5 in a row, we've officially turned this league into a farmers' league. But good to see you, Rose. I know you've been on this channel for quite some time as well. Love to Jamaica. Just love some Manchester City. Congratulations, Blues. Absolutely. Yeah, Big M, good to see you as well. Hope you're doing good. Brilliant. It's absolutely sensational. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already on the video. It's a good time to be a Manchester City fan. It really is. Everything is going our way once again. Scoreline, brilliant. 4-1, comfortable victory effectively. A little bit of a quiet second half. I thought City could have upped the tempo a little bit. For 20 minutes, it was a little bit dead, to be honest. I felt like City felt like they'd already won the game, which, in hindsight, they already had. But you just got to be careful at 3-1, and that was my concern, that if Ipswich could nick a goal at any moment, it starts to get a bit squeaky bum time again, doesn't it? But any sort of counter-attacking threat from Ipswich, which was minimal, was nullified by Rico on occasions and Akanji and Diaz on occasions. They had that one moment where it was like bobbling around, and Harness, who came on as a second half substitute for Ipswich, looked like he was about to swing with his right foot in the penalty area. The lap was there as well. They both went to swing at it, and then they both didn't, and the chance went. That was the only moment in the second half that I thought, oh, maybe. Other than that, complete control from Manchester City dictated the second half. And then it felt like, right, I want a 4th goal, and City went and got one. It sounded like we just upped the tempo on about the 70th minute and started knocking on the door a little bit harder, and got our 4th goal, and it was quite comfortable in the end, a level of comfort that I expected going against Ipswich. But we've got more difficult games to come. Arsenal is only round the corner as well. I can't remember exactly when that is, but that's round the corner, isn't it? I'm like Pep. I only do one fixture at a time. One fixture at a time. I can't, mate. I would like to, but I will be doing the player ratings in the morning. But I've got things to do. I've got kids, mate. I've got to look after some children in a bit. So, but yeah. What's with the shirt? What's wrong with it? This is iconic, Hydra. This is the most iconic shirt in Manchester City's history. The treble-winning shirt. It's yeah, what a time to be a City fan. It really is. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Blues, thank you so much for joining me in the chat once again. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already. Please do, and if you're watching after the fact, please hit the like button. Top of the league as well, aren't we? Top of the league. I'm pretty sure we are, goal difference wise. I haven't actually checked the other scores unless someone scored like 6 or something in the second half. Pretty sure we're top of the league. I need to check that out. But yeah, 5 in a row. Coming soon. 5 in a row. Blues, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Player ratings in the morning. Come and join me for that one as well. Most players are going to get reasonably high scores. I can't think of many two players that dipped below a 6, 7, to be honest. I think most of them deserve a 7, really, for that performance. Really, really good. Take care, Blues, and I'll see you in the next one.